Now, we covered last week Jennifer Jones, who runs a local newspaper in Quartzsite, where she got up in her 3-minute communication. They didn't want her discussing the fact that they just passed an illegal tax, and so they ordered the police to arrest her.
It's their crap leadership.
This sounds like an intervention is needed here, Doug. I mean, someone's got to go out there and do something. Who's going to do it?
It's in my town. It's in the county.
The mayor says he's been trying to get the governor's office and the attorney general's office to do something, and all they do is ignore him.
I spoke to DPS. They acknowledged that they were investigating the police chief for the allegations laid on him by his officers.
It's always been there.
But failing that, I think it really is at the governor's feet.
And that's what the attorney general told us, though. They wouldn't do anything. Go home and fix your problem.
What made it unique was how so decentralized the fight was.
There's always been political turmoil here in this community.
There's a lot of political feuding in Quartzsite over the years.
They were fighting over City Hall, and the fight really got dirty.
We've had deaths here in town since that haven't been solved.
The current chief one time pulled me over and said, "Mike, we're not against you." I said, "Then why you keep arresting me and harassing me?" His exact words were, "If I don't do what the chief tells me to do, I'll lose my job."
There were some false arrests that occurred.
When I had my fight years ago against Jeff Gilbert, it took 5 years for the cops to finally wake up and do something about it.
9 members of our police department filed charges against their chief for corruption.
In response, the town council had those officers fired.
The city puts more than half its police department on leave. The officers are telling ABC 15 it's retaliation for speaking out against their boss.
Breaking and disturbing news out of Quartzsite, Arizona. 9 of the city's 14 police officers have filed complaints with the state of Arizona about the police chief's abuse of power for political gain.
In response to that, the courts issued a restraining order against the town, which was supposed to prevent them from firing any other officers.
But the point is, they try this power grab. This is what happens in third world countries where the police and military just take over. This is what Caesar did 2,000 years ago.
La Paz County Superior Court issues a temporary restraining order against the town of Quartzsite.
The restraining order protects them from being fired until they've had a pre-termination hearing.
And in response to that, the town fired him anyway.
Why not just put gold crowns on the police chief and these other cops? Why not just literally bow down, make them like North Korea?
Even though there was an injunction in place saying you will not terminate your employees, he and the town attorney at the time went ahead and terminated us.
We had an ally of the mayor, as we saw in the video.
No, what am I under arrest for?
Don't resist.
Take that. I'm not resisting.
This has gotten everyone's attention.
This is what has made this a national story. It's the fact that Jennifer J. Jones was speaking before the council. She was speaking critically. She'd been recognized by the council. She had the microphone. She wasn't up there very long before someone on the council said, "You're done."
And then the great-grandson, decades from now, 100 years from now, of this police chief can be, the third or fourth king of Quartzsite. I mean, that's how North Korea works.
They never said I was under arrest. The police chief kept saying, "Stop resisting the officer." But he never said, "You're under arrest. Don't resist."
However, several people emerged from the fray and questioned the system.
That's what the Queen of England is. Pretty soon there'll be like tabloids worshiping the police chief and, his wife's gowns or something. I mean, that's what royalty is just people that take over and put a crown on and you worship them.
How many people do you think have been arrested by now?
Let me think. Jerry Wilcox, my husband, me.
They came after us. I was one of them. Jennifer Jones, another one that was targeted.
Russell Sias.
Wow.
I mean, this is freedom.
Mayor Foster on the steps of Town Hall.
The chief was trying to go after me as a political opponent of the people in town.
Mike Roth, twice.
They'd come and bully us, all hours of the day.
You have to be quiet. I don't have to be quiet.
Follow us.
I have the right to remain silent or not remain silent.
Good enough for you.
Okay. That's fine.
Ticket us. One day I got 4 tickets in one day.
And there's Jennifer Jones. She was later able to, you can see the meeting halls right in there. She was able to put her ear up there and hear them read the proclamation. So even the martial law emergency proclamation is secret. Boy, and now they've told the Arizona Republic this isn't going on. What's going to now happen that they've gotten the copy of the proclamation, Jennifer?
Well, you know, that's what we're trying to find out. The proclamation itself, we don't believe is legal, but when you're 2 hours from the Capitol and nobody wants to rush out here in any big hurry, well, you know, the question that has been a concern for us is, what is the police chief going to think he has the power to do until the real world punched the time clock this morning and, you know, we could start making...
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Pretty much everybody in that group, though.
There's been some allegations from you that I've read in other reports of you've been harassed by the police.
Is critical of what they're doing.
We have been surveilled, followed.
As a matter of fact, I've never seen anybody who supports what they're doing arrested.
Arrested, or at least charged with a felony crime with this chief of police.
A few people that knew what their rights were decided, I don't need to take this from you. And that's how it all started.
Dozens gathered at the Quartzsite City Hall, anxious to find out what's going on with their local politicians.
I want to see open government, not running behind locked doors like they did Sunday.
Well, claims of secret meetings, death threats, and a state of emergency.
I feel that this is retaliation, yes, against the officers that signed this letter and came forth speaking out against corruption.
Open meeting violation complaints have been received and will be investigated.
Finally, armed protesters and biker gang marched on Town Hall, armed to the teeth.
Police Chief Adolf Hitler Gilbert demand that he resign.
The fight really got dirty.
Divided. Held under martial law. Disputatious.
It was out of control.
Contentious.
There was a police state around here.
Very unfriendly.
I mean, it goes on and on and on.
This is lawsuit city here for the type of political discrimination that's going on.
I would like to give the people of La Paz County the opportunity to enjoy true constitutional freedom.
The Arizona Central, that's the Arizona Republic, the big paper in Arizona, is reporting Quartzsite official rejects mayor's martial law claim. The mayor says it's martial law, and the media is like, ha, 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 the SWAT team only came and took him.
Today I want to talk to you about truth. The truth is there's an ideology in this country that denies truth and will silence viewpoints that it disagrees with. Freedom of speech is one of the foundational principles that this country was built on, and it's one of those freedoms that the rest of the world does not enjoy. It is not the speech that we agree with that needs protecting. It's the speech that we disagree with that needs protecting at all cost.
Now, the police chief said months ago that we can't have citizens criticizing us. This will cause a Jared Lee Loughner. So they're going to use that to fully lock the city down. And there's areas of Arkansas under martial law. The cops even call it that. A lot of the cops are good folks and have gone public. Some of them are getting in trouble. People at town hall that don't agree with this are being fired. This is lawsuit city here for the type of political discrimination that's going on. The city needs to apologize and back off now. I know they're watching. They need to realize this is not a fight politically. They're going to win by screaming that, you know, that the Daily Paul and people are terrorists or that we're terrorists. You know, as the police chief months ago said that you guys, you know, were basically Jared Lee Loughner for protesting their tax rate hikes. I mean, they need to learn this is what a free republic is all about.
Are you coming in? Or?
No, I'm not coming in. This is an illegal meeting. It was never announced.
Sir, has to be posted. Are you going to get his statement?
There you go. And there's Jennifer Jones. She was later able to, you can see the meeting halls right in there. She was able to put her ear up there and hear them read the proclamation. So even the martial law emergency proclamation is secret. Boy, and now they've told the Arizona Republic this isn't going on. What's going to now happen that they've gotten the copy of the proclamation, Jennifer?
Well, you know, that's what we're trying to find out. The proclamation itself, we don't believe is legal, but when you're 2 hours from the Capitol and nobody wants to rush out here in any big hurry, well, you know, the question that has been a concern for us is, what is the police chief going to think he has the power to do until the real world punched the time clock this morning?
What's wrong with making these council members and the police chief king? I mean, that's a good system. I mean, they're talking about getting rid of the Constitution in our media.
Well, you know, here's the thing, Alex. If they really want to protect public safety, they need to step down and resign immediately, because we never had these sorts of public meetings. We never even had a need for police at the meetings until they started acting beyond the scope of what the Constitution.
And let's be clear, they don't want you up there talking about taxes they've passed that, according to you and others, aren't properly passed or legal, and they're there telling you to shut up. I mean, this is pure tyranny.